Maybe once. Not sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm not sure if they have played Jakiro yet, but
that's early.
That's supposed to be one of their go-to support heroes, especially against if they need a tanky support.
Not at all a surprising first pick Shadow Fiend.
SF going through is so now VP will grab the Tusk for themselves. I think that's a no-brainer. They're very good at playing with it as well. Alright, never mind, I'll just be quiet over here.
I was gonna say, when these two teams face up against each other, they seem to really put more emphasis on the SF first pick. Both teams will go for it, and then the follow-up is usually more team fight power. Slardar, of course, being one of the best offlaners left in the pool, and Gyrocopter the most favorable early team fighting carry that you can get.
I think getting Slardar makes a lot of sense. It's one of OG's better heroes from Moon Meander as well. I don't know how sold I am on this duo being the first two. Gyro together with Slardar. Slardar amplify damage to single target amplification, and Gyro's about hitting a spread.
In a way, though, it means that Flat Cannon guarantees that it's going to do a lot of damage to at least one target, right? Which I think is something significant, especially since it does give you vision. No chance you can hide.
This is a pretty... I mean, some of these picks are very straightforward and understandable, but I'm a little surprised with Gyro, and Dazzle together with Shadow Fiend we've seen a lot, but the win rate of the hero actually isn't that good in the tournament. I think it's one third of its games, the Dazzle, which
was something that was very effective 1-2 months ago, and it's just fallen off steadily ever since, especially on the Dire side. I also agree with you on the Gyrocopter pickup, but considering it is Illidan's favorite hero...
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, his favorite hero is Slark, but that's just not a hero in this patch. Completely non-existent.
They will ban the Brute themselves, so... Do they play this Slaughter as anything else than an offlane for DK Phobos?
No, it's pretty much guaranteed that it's going to be DK Phobos' hero.
Yeah, that's...
I don't think they've ever run, a 4 position. Oh, well, actually, I take that back. They've run it in Illidan.
What?
Illidan has played it.
Yeah, they have played a 4 position Slaughter in this tournament, in the group stage.
Oh, okay.
Oh, VP have?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they're keeping their options open then. Still, the main surprising thing for me in the first phase was that Tusk went through the entirety. I thought it was going to get grabbed by either... Do you think it's the right choice to take Dazzle over Tusk for OG, considering how good Crit is on the hero, and Dazzle's win rate, and how it's been tried a couple of times as a counterpick to Slaughter? Didn't really work.
I think the slight change in draft you can see from OG going through the loser bracket is that they put more emphasis on having supports that really back up your carries rather than initiate.
But Tusk is good for that too, right?
I mean, it's good in the aggressive sense that you back them up by creating a front line.
Oh, also the defensive snowball, I think. But it's more situational than Dazzle, because Dazzle will way more easily be able to get in the right position. I just still think it could be a pick. Okay. So, I was thinking about this here earlier.
They had a tough choice to make. Bane has definitely been one of the better support heroes of this tournament, I feel, and then Ancient Apparition is direct counter to Dazzle and maybe the SF mech. So in that case, they went for the Dazzle, but Ancient Apparition is a favorite hero of Lil. I think that was the other hero you were trying to point to.
I think the AA ban would have been better, also because now they might not be as prone to pick out the Winter Wyvern, if that was a hero they were considering.
They can still go for the Visage as well.
It's banned first
It's
phase.
banned.
Oh, you're right.
There's an Undying in the pool, however.
That is very true. OG have played that a lot. Now they finally go for the Tusk. And the thing is, I think when OG pick... Do they ever pick Undying and Dazzle together? Because I feel like Fly exclusively plays both of them for the team. And now this Tusk for... It's not a guaranteed crit hero, because they could put it on Moon Meander still as well. I do think there's a very high chance it is the hero for crit.
But do you want to pick up Undying against Gyrocopter? He's one of the decent soft counters to Undying. Because
that might be the reason they first phase picked it, actually.
Right.
10 seconds to
Do you think there's any chance of them picking the Husker?
5 seconds remain.
It's... AA kind of ruins him.
Yeah. Same goes with Slardar.
Slardar AA together, I think, is enough. Regardless of the fact that Gyro is a very bad carry against Huskar, I still think they have enough tools.
Yeah, its minimal physical damage is going to be so amplified up by Slardar that it doesn't really matter.
So if we're convinced that Crit is playing the Tusk, an offlane hero for Moon Meander would be... Clockwork is decent at creating space. I'm not normally a fan of Clockwork in this current meta, but I think in this particular lineup it can be good.
What do you guys
Also
think?
isolate the A.
What do you guys think about a Razor pickup here for OG as their safe lane, whether it's 4th or 5th pick?
Does No Tail play that hero well? It's 100%
Yeah,
Miracle
it's
Shadow
Miracle's
Fiend.
hero.
Like, they don't.
Yeah, you're right.
They never swap those two around.
I mean, I would hope that that No Tail isn't going to be limited by the fact that they haven't played much Razor, because when Razor is played, it is the Miracle who's usually the
You don't think it's too easily punished early on from this lineup of Virtus.pro? I feel like they can run it down before it gets tanky enough.
There's a lot of single target spells you got to throw out against a Razor. You've got a Dazzle behind him.
They do go for the Phantom Lancer.
Radiance.
So Crit hasn't played on the Tusk this tournament.
Oh, he hasn't?
Hasn't, and Moon has.
Interesting.
Huh.
Because going in, Crit has been playing this hero so much for OG. It's been one of the key heroes for their success in online tournaments. I think, including the qualifiers for this event, actually, he played it a lot for OG. Now, Virtus.pro ban another hero I was considering could be for Moon Meander, so they do think this is a Crit Tusk. Moon Meander's offlane Earthshaker has been one of his go-tos, and I think it would have been very good against VP's heroes. So good that I thought OG could have picked it before the PL.
Which is better here for VP? Because I think this is what OG are thinking about banning away. It's the Quap or the Lina. If the Quap is banned away, I think VP pick up Lina.
I think, a really great pick. It'll just completely destroy the early game of OG with this lineup for Virtus.pro. They can put on the aggression from minute 1 and continue until the throne of OG goes down. Which I, of course, with my prediction, hope it won't.
I am a bit worried here for OG because I don't think there's one particular pick now that just solves the problems they have. The best go-to pick for OG at this point for me would probably be the Undying, but it's still countered pretty well as we talked about.
I think the
playing an
Clockwork,
offlane Tusk.
if you put Crit on the Tusk, or then, as you were saying, the Undying, those are the two heroes that can sort of salvage it and buy them enough time in these team fights in the early game.
I think Clock gets eaten alive this game. Okay.
It's a Rubik.
All right.
For game 1 of OG versus Virtus.pro, day 4 of the Major. Let's head over to the commentary team. OD Pixel, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Paul, and indeed it is myself and Purge that's going to be going through the first series here today. OG versus VP and Purge. We're seeing the PL come out. Now, I feel that this Slam PL has been making a bit of a rise back, but with differing amounts of success. Is this the game that OG are going to show us how it should be done?
It's okay. I wouldn't say it's amazing versus Slardar. It's a hero that can lock you down and prevent you from escaping. They have other burst damage with Ancient Apparition. They can silence him. They can burst him with Lina. With that said, their AoE options aren't amazing. If he does become a little tricky, if he can stay on the outside of the fight, come in on heroes that are maybe segmented or by themselves, then it can be useful. So it's going to take a lot of No Tail's focus here to guesstimate where he thinks all of his opponents are and make sure he doesn't get initiated on.
Of course, one thing we've got to talk about as well, the fact that Miracle is getting that Shadow Fiend again. We saw yesterday, this man is absolutely insane on that hero.
Yeah.
Do VP have the tools to shut him down? Because I'm looking at their lineup, they've got a lot of get in your face and get the action going pretty early on for the side of VP.
They definitely have the options, but like we saw yesterday, you can start Miracle at 0 and 3, and he's still going to come back as soon as he gets an Invis Rune, Shadow Blade, something like that. So we'll probably see a similar build. It's a little scarier due to the lockdowns and the nukes that VP have, but I think he can definitely do it.
All right, we're going to see, in fact, at the moment, OG moving down here, but VP did get that early observer ward down, and this can actually save them a lot here, because they'll see the entire team coming down, and VP will be able to keep themselves away from this action, which would have been very scary fighting into at level 1.
But VP sees it, so they're so set. Not the best observer ward for vision-wise, but very good for not getting dewarded, and that's really what they're concerned about here, since they do expect OG to be aggressive in this lane. And they also do a double ward on the pole camp, so maybe not the best placement yet. It's going to take probably 2 sentries to get this, so there's about 4 spots on average that it'll take up to 4 sentries hypothetically to deward this, so I don't know if they're going to be able to find all of them.
Indeed, we'll see how that works for the side of OG against VP, and it looks like OG will look for the bottom room. VP, they're not going to try and contest that, they'll just simply look to take the top trade. And in terms of the lanes as well, are we going to see anything a little bit different here, or is this going to be your standard stuff, would you imagine?
Looks pretty standard for OG, and that's going to be the case. Dazzle Rubik is naturally going to pair with PL to make sure he gets a lot of farm. Offlane Tusk should be able to help limit the creep wave's movement so that he's going to get some guaranteed experience. And Looks pretty standard for VP as well. Probably we'll see some roaming Night Stalker. They're going to have Lil help out the mid lane a little bit using Chilling Touch, and pretty standard game. This seems to be the meta pretty consistently here.
Indeed. I guess talking about the SF-Lina matchup, Lina one of those heroes that can do pretty well against the SF if she starts to get ahead in terms of XP and levels.
Yeah, ooh, he's going to get lifted
already,
back on the mid
yeah.
lane.
The harassment coming in from the side of OG, forcing G back. Fly hanging around the mid lane as well, so a lot of attention put there. They've left at the top, of course, Notel on the PL on his own against the Slardar, which you're still going to be able to find farm here on this PL there.
Yeah, he's going to be fine, and eventually the supports will rotate back to the top lane, and he'll be absolutely okay. So now FNG rotates the middle lane. The reason they did that is because Lil just wanted to use his Chilling Touch. It's a long cooldown. He can't stay in zone as much.
Gonna lift him back here, but well, FNG still throwing a Void back onto Miracle. A lot of action and aggression on this middle lane between both the mid laners and the roaming supports from either side.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's safe to call them roaming supports. It's more like zoning supports on the mid lane. It's very, very consistent for this to happen at the highest level right now. Every single game, one support comes mid, tries to limit the other person's last hits, and then eventually around the 2-3 minute mark, then things actually become a 1v1.
Well, top lane, Phobos just being zoned out here by Fly, who's just going to stick around with Notel. And let's have the back of the Radiant Jungle. How's the AA doing in terms of getting control back? Oh, Phobos, he's got the crush, he's got the sprint. Should be fine here. The bottom lane, Moon just being forced back here by the Chilling Touch. And taking a lot of damage there as well. He has got a salve, so should be alright. And we can see it's just, they just missed one of the sentries, I believe, haven't they, the Radiant?
Yeah, it's so hard to get both of them, to be honest. It's either left extreme, right extreme, north extreme, or south extreme, and any of them can be mispredicted a little bit. Moonmeander in a little bit of trouble here. 5 seconds left until the next Void hit.
Hey, Tango's up here. FNG's not going to go for it. He's going to let the Tusk go.
I think that was a good play. If either one of them committed to that, they would be pretty low in mana. Tusk wouldn't care because he's got a Clarity and an Enchanted Mango, but if FNG burns through all of his mana there and loses half of his HP, he's out of Tango and he has to go back to heal. And it was a kill that maybe would have happened, so I think it was smart of him just to pressure slightly and then back off.
Both of the position ones at the moment getting really good farm. 12 for 6 on Yajara, 11 for 8 on the PL. And we're seeing Lil and Illidan trying to move in onto Moon here, kind of getting cornered off. He's going to have to give this one the walk around. They've got the Chilling Touch and they're going to try and look for this Tusk here. Moon could be in a lot of trouble. He pops the snowball out. Can they be able to chase this? Coldfeet isn't going to kick in. Moon getting incredibly low, and he's going to deny himself the neutrals. He should be able to do it. Oh, for him. Oh, the flag didn't quite do it. Illidan went for it with a flag, but Moon is able to deny himself there to neutrals.
That's not the camp you want when you have a Stout Shield. You block almost all of their damage if it does proc, and it was a cool play to try to use Flat Cannon to make it work out, but I think it would have been slightly better if he just went directly after him, because those first 4 hits did almost no damage. He got technically unlucky Stuff Shield procs there, but great deny from him.
Keeping it 0-0 on the board at the moment. Mid lane, worth noticing the matchup. G, 14 for 3 on his Lina, 16 for 2 on Miracle, so fairly even at this point. Both still with one support at either side hanging around the mid lane. And I mean, on the top lane as well, the fact that they have got the Dazzle sitting about, they are managing to stop Phobos getting a lot of farm from this lane. He's still getting levels, but it's not going to be a ridiculous amount of CS for this Slardar.
Yeah, it's actually pretty equivalent experience on both sides, and in some ways that's one of the things that makes off lanes pretty good right now, is that the supports do spend so much time zoning the mid heroes. So both the Slar and the Tusk are going to be pretty happy with this. I would say it's a little better for Slardar, perhaps. Although it's not bad for Tusk either, because he has a great hero that he can gank on, and that is the Lina mid. She's very susceptible to Tusk ganks. But same goes for Slardar. Slardar's also a very good hero right now, very good at setting up ganks. It's hard to say which one's ultimately going to provide better, but DK Phobos with the 4, pretty good tanky items, and he could definitely go set up some kills mid.
Yeah, and of course it is nighttime period at the moment. There's just level 2 though on this Night Stalker. And I think OG realizing that something might happen mid, as they've actually sent Moon to hang around there as well.
They did deward the high ground ward, one really nice thing. Lina attacked uphill a couple times, so it's pretty clear that they did have an observer ward in the area, and it was in one of the more obvious spots. They have replaced another ward covering the top rune spot, but the positioning of OG's heroes right now, they don't actually know where they are on VP's side. So things are going to get a little scary for them here.
Oh, G's got to be careful. Telekinesis will be there with a snowball to follow up. That's your first blood. caught slightly out of place, and as you said, just being set up there by the fact that they were able to de-ward the side of OG, and
Middle tower is being attacked.
top lane just getting the crush in, but a nice and a successful gank there from Moon on his Tusk, and the patience paid off.
Yeah, that's such a huge gank to get. So Lena's dead for a little bit. FNG's gonna grab the experience while he is dead, so it's not a full efficiency loss for Virtus.pro here. But she can also go back to the jungle in a moment. There has been a lot of stacks at the large camp by Lil. Lil's getting himself some experience now, staying at level 3. He's doing alright as well. And on the bot lane, Illidan's just pressuring the tower, which is something Gyro can do very well. So I think VP's alright with that death, despite it being first blood.
We're going to see at the moment OG keeping the 3 of them towards the mid lane. We'll see if they're trying to go for something. Oh, crit.
Wasted TP. That's a misclick.
All right.
Curious what he was going to use there. Oh, he was setting up his sentry placement top. So he will be able to get this D-ward as soon as he goes to the high ground. Just going to wait a moment. Too bad that he lost his TP. If they actually spot that. I don't think they did, though.
No, it was just outside of range of the observer. Phobos is going to grab himself an invis here.
Oh, he's going to get spotted by the sentry, and he's going to realize it immediately.
It was spotted, yeah. They've got the observer there as well, so they saw him pick it up. Miracle coming forward. I think they're trying to play the dumb game, and now they reveal the fact they can see it, but I think Phobos just got out of range of the sentry, so he's going to be all right.
I don't know if he played that. It seemed at first that he didn't know the sentry was there,
Phobos, there's a sentry still there as well, and it's going to be OG leading in with the telekinesis. Shards come out, but Phobos not getting trapped. Will walk out now, the Dragon Slave. VP trying to move forward. There we go, Laguna's to the back of the Rubik. That's your first one for the side of VP. They're looking for more cooldowns there. There'll be a snowball coming across. They're trying to save Miracle with a rocket barrage. They'll take down a second one, double kill for Lina, and now VP will back off. Flies there, no tail came in with a TP reaction. His spirit line to Shards. The PL's coming for the action, and it's going to pay off. Dazzle will find the kill there with the Shadow Wave. So OG do find the kills in response.
Man,
as both of the position ones come to the mid lane.
I really liked Illidan's rotation, but that is a perfect example of why Tusk is the hero that has not missed anything. It's like the Ice Shard comes in, and it's essentially like a 2-second stun because you have to walk all the way around. Helps you catch up to people that frankly should be far out of your reach, and you're not able to catch them anymore. But the Ice Shards from Moon absolutely guaranteed that kill on Gyro, and a kill that looked a kill tray that looked okay for VP ended up being not so great.
Back to the mid lane, here we come, G. We saw him find that first kill for himself with that Lagoon. He's going to have that back online in 10 seconds. Let's see if he's able to do it again. He's just going to back up and look for the jungle camps here, keeping his levels up. Just a 500 difference between himself and Miracle on those mid laners.
G's definitely the hero that VP wants to prioritize in the early game, because when he does get leaning, he very often just owns the entire game and goes crazy. But Miracle is kind of the same here, so I think it's important that VP does get the kills on him, even if it does occasionally trade an Illidan kill. So I think they're moderately happy with what happened.
Moon, he's been spotted out by the high ground here with a Void. They're going to try and move forward. Cold feet, is he going to lock it? Is. He's going to get the shots out, but doesn't matter. FNG walks around, should be able to find this here, and he will. Second Void does the job, and FNG takes himself the kill.
That was a huge pick off there. Just don't really expect him coming from above you most of the time. And that was a level 3 cold feet, by the way, so that's done for 2.75 seconds. It's actually not a bad ability if you can guarantee that they get stunned.
More and more space given here to this Gyro. In terms of CS now, he's certainly looking very good on the board. He's still level with no tail, 45-19, 45-6-20. It's very close. It's pretty much neck and neck between these two cores.
DK Phobos as well is close to 6. Again, about the same experience as the offlane on OG. And he's gotten a lot done on the Tusk, but I'm always so scared of Slardar. But he doesn't have Blink Dagger yet, so until that point, Tusk is easily a stronger hero.
FNG wants to find something, but Moon, he's aware that it's going on. He's TP to the top lane, ready to help out the boys on the side of OG. And Fly wants to lead in. Fly's trying to get the vision here for the initiation, but he's going to get it onto Phobos. Snowball comes through with the stun connect. They have Will with the shard. They'll look for the Slardar. They'll try and get it, but the crush comes out. So now Illidan's there with the cooldown. They're looking for Fly. Fly's trying to TP out. Moon's going to drop. Fly, will he escape? He will. No Tail's now the one in trouble. FNG and Illidan chasing him down. They'll get the point, and there's a rocket barrage. They'll take down the PL. And Illidan with these gyrocopter rotations at 9 minutes in, absolutely bang on.
Yeah, that's the only thing holding them together. It looks so bad for VP with the initiation directly on Slardar, but he gets a little stun off on one hero, and the call down was just amazing. They almost got 3 kills out of that one. The Gyro on VP is definitely one of the best heroes that they can give to Illidan, in my opinion. It just gives him so much more value in the early game rotations than many other carries that he plays.
I'm going to stick it up around top here with Phobos and FNG. We'll see what the next plan of action will be for the side of VP. The side of OG, they're going to send Notel on the PL down towards the bottom. Actually smoked up here as well. Only AA is sitting down here. This is, of course, that period of the game where we'll see teams leave the AA on his own in lane, trying to get that XP for level 6. But we'll see how much Lil reveals himself, as he has just already found himself getting that ultimate online. They're going to look for it, they're going to dive for it. They've found him, Lil. He's got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. No, you get the pick off. So not the biggest of kills, but a kill nonetheless there with that smoke and a bit more favorable action for Notel to be involved in.
Yeah, I wish he would have hid behind trees, because the position he was located, if they did wrap around, they're going to spot him instantly. If he was sitting inside the tree clump next to it, they wouldn't have immediately realized he was there. Yeah, their smoke could have broken, they probably could have figured it out, but it would have given him a fighting chance instead of no chance at all. It's a very small mistake out of Lil, not that big of a deal.
And all this vision, of course, from OG, spotting out any movement, any rotation from FNG from the mid lane. So they're going to feel very confident, piling on the pressure down here. And OG should be able to claim themselves this tier 1.
Same thing for Illidan, though. He's pressuring the off lane.
There's a snowball in onto FNG, standing on top of the ward, and OG will punish that. Get themselves another kill under their belt. 6 for 5 and 11 minutes in. This game certainly feels like a very close one, Purge.
Yeah, and OG doing the very standard thing, take control of your enemy's jungle. They have their observer ward, the one that FNG just died on. That one's placed in a good spot. It's also placed very well even if Night Stalker uses his ultimate. One really nice thing about this ward placement. They will see them running across that cliff. And now they're going to control the jungle, they'll farm the jungle. They'll pressure the dual lane, or sorry, the tier 2 a little bit. Maybe not a huge amount, but the important thing is that this jungle is now theirs. Oh, a bit of an item mistake coming from DK Phobos. So he's building an urn, and I know for a fact there's already one on Night Stalker. This is going to delay his Blink Dagger and not give him as much value as it would have just with the base item.
A little bit, yeah. Maybe miscommunication, but nonetheless, not the ideal move here for VP.
Yeah, he probably gets urn just about every time on Slaughter. In fact, I've seen it. Oh, there's just that small overlay where... Oh, sorry.
Okay, here we go. They're going to try for this. The Ice Blast is coming through the board. He lost G on the Lina, but the Ice Blast is onto Miracle. He'll get off the Requiem. Shallowgrave's there. Now they're looking for more. Oh, Crit with a stolen Ice Blast straight back into the face of VP. It gets the jar, and Miracle doesn't go down. Crit with that steal, turning the fight around, and OG come out on top, even though it was VP looking to initiate.
Dude, that grave from Fly was
might
amazing.
not be done. Mid lane Moon with the snowball dodge there to avoid the crush, but it still comes through. Moon in trouble. He needs to back up with his friends, and it's there. Telekinesis on but he's straight into the punch. A third kill for OG as they start to break away.
We need to talk about that grave again, because Miracle was dead. He was actually for sure dead, but the grave, he waited until right before he died, threw the grave on, and there just wasn't an extra tick of that magic damage to guarantee his kill. He actually kept him alive, and that is literally VP's strat. Burst down one hero, get advantage from that. And they weren't able to do it due to the great grave hold.
Some very flashy plays coming out from the side of OG there, and VP going to feel a little bit shaken. Miracle off the back of that is starting to get himself ahead. 6.8k now net worth, 1.2k ahead of that Lina. And going for not the standard Miracle build. We've seen him pretty much most of the time here on the main stage, going for the brown boot Shadow Blade. But this time, he is opting for that SN1, I guess because of the burst damage that VP have this game.
Yeah, there's just so much. If he had a Sanjay, or if he just had a Shadow Blade, he'd be sitting at about 900 HP right now. And that's like 1.5 heroes per kill him consistently. The Ice Blast coming out from OG. He's not giving up the spell anytime soon. Does not land the debuff, and they're looking for the wraparound.
Let's see if they can get anything with this VP. Positioning themselves between the tier 1 and tier 2. They've got the ward down. Sentry's been dropped. It's just ahead of range there of the ward. And now they're going to go in. FNG, he knows that Moon's about, and he's going to make a beeline straight here for this tree line. Here's your Ice Blast. It's looking to be a nice one. Is it going to connect over? It just flies past Fly. He'll pop himself down the Shallow Grave. Crit is there. Are they going to just sacrifice the Dazzle? Do they want to turn? They've got a telekinesis onto Phobos, but they're just going to have to let Fly go. And side of OG won't be able to find anything in return. In fact, they may lose more. There's a void onto Miracle and VP. They're ready to chase it down. No shot down the high ground. Miracle looking to the red river. The burst is there. They'll burst down the SF before he can get the ult out. They do lose Phobos. There's the charge from Moon through, and they might get more. No shot for Spirit Life. They're moving on to Illidan, and they find the Gyrocopter. Double kill for Moon Meander as he turns around this one for the side of OG.
Yeah, it was a huge double kill for him, but still very good kills for VP. Again, G's in the fight. He's got more gold from it. His Yules is finished, and he's not dying. And that's the thing that OG should be a little bit worried about, because if any of their cores get caught out and G's ahead, they're going to get bursted with Ice Blast and a Laguna Blade, and they'll most certainly die.
Oh, we're seeing OG. They're not done. They're moving around. No tail, Moon, and Crit. Coming towards the mid. Stop a ganging to clear the trees, and looks like they'll just look to take this tier 1 from the side of VP. Correct, he's still got a bit of time to play with that Ice Blast. Actually, that's the last one he's going to be able to throw, so he's going to have to look to re-steal that or take something else from the next fight from the side of VP.
Looks like VP's not even going to get this Observer Ward in their jungle too. They had the sentry down, but unless they walk into the jungle right now, 30 seconds left, they're going to miss it. That's a really unfortunate thing. But they don't want to go in their jungle. They're scared. They think OG is there consistently. They don't feel comfortable in their jungle at all. And that's why they put all these sentries down. They said, okay, well, we're going to make sure that OG doesn't have any observer wards there. And they got 1 out of those sentries, but they didn't get 2 out of it.
I saw some smokes that now picked up by Lil on this AA, but at the same time, 15 minutes, and you're going to be smoking up into a lineup where Moon on the Tusk does now have his completed mechanism.
He's been doing really well this game, actually. He's been a part of 9 kills out of his team's 11, shifting around everywhere, getting kills on really important heroes like Gyrocopter. He's been important for at least 2 to 3 of these Gyro kills.
So the next point of call, looking for the 16-minute rune. FNG will walk through and take that, but Moon, he wants to fight, snowballing it very aggressively. There's an Ice Blast flying over, he'll get the punch onto FNG. They'll look for the Requiem here, it comes out, he'll clip the Nightstock. It's a double kill, in fact, as Miracle gets 2. There's a light strike onto Moon, they will lose the Tusk, and now the cooldown from Illidan. VP aren't happy, they want to turn. They're coming in with a rocket rock, telekinesis is there, but they can't quite turn this one around, and they get themselves 2. Notel, he's looking for more. The light strike from G holds back the PL, but Illidan's in a bit of trouble. In fact, Chris stole the Amplify before he went down, laid it down onto the Gyro. Notel trying to go for it, but cold feet on him, and Lil gets a killing spree as he takes down the PL. Notel trying to go a little too aggressive, and VP will find the favorable fight this time.
It looks really bad for VP at the start, but as soon as the Requiem came out and cleaned up the 2 low HP heroes from VP, they're able to turn around and get a couple kills. They have really good kite potential on Lina. The Yules plus Phase Boots combo, I really like it because OG's disables are pretty weak. Obviously, Snowball, Ice Shards are great, but if those go on somebody else, then G can genuinely run away from the Rubik and then just continue to throw Dragon Slaves, lower his HP, and once PL's HP is low, his illusions aren't very strong either, and then you can very rapidly figure out which one's the real one. So both carries on both teams not having the best of games. It's looking a little better for Gyro at the moment, but it could definitely still be a big swing for either one of them.
I'm going to see top lane now, just Notel. He's going to calm it down a bit, look to far. Mid lane just being cleared out by the cooldown, and Tusk getting a bit aggressive on bottom, getting the momentum of the creep wave really going around.
I really like FMG's position here. He's an anti-smoke gank right now. Whenever your core is doing Ancients, it's very common for the opponents to generally group up and go for a kill there. He's got a sentry ward down. It's maybe not the best sentry because it doesn't spot some common observer ward placements to the left of its vision, but if they do smoke and approach this, it'll be Nightstalker dying and not Gyro. And it's daytime anyways, what's he going to do, you know? It's very useful that he's doing this, and that's exactly why he's there.
Notel very, very close to finishing that defusal. He's going to see FNG. Just grab the rune in front of him. Bottom lane is, in fact, well, OG now really grouping up towards this mid. You've got 5 heroes around. Phobos just clearing up the jungle, trying to find that money towards that Blink Dagger. On 850 here at the moment on the slider, so still a little bit of a way to go. And what was the money spent on Viral Rubik? So it looks like Crit is picking up a Staff of Wizardry, so just trying to get that 4 staff going before the Blink on this Rubik.
Yeah, 4 staff's the item that you need to counter lineups like VP's. If somebody gets initiated on and he's about to be Ice Blasted, force him forward, and it makes VP force themselves to be out of position to counteract that 4 staff. So the 4 staff is definitely the item they need to succeed here. Just one is going to do the deal.
At this point, I mean, when do you think we'll kind of expect the next bit of action? I'm looking at Lina. G, he is very, very close to his Aghanim Scepter. He's halfway through that point booster. So perhaps just waiting upon that VP. OG, they're not waiting.
They need a Blink Dagger on Slardar really bad, and he's behind. It's 19 minutes now, and he does not have it. He's only got 1,000 gold. So if they're very aware of this, that there isn't that Blink Dagger, then OG's going to be very fine. I mean, look at Ice Blast here in the Roche pit. They might be low by the time VP gets there, and that's what it comes down to.
That's the question. They are sticking in the pit for the time being.
I think they got it. They're going to be low, though. If they can catch him on the retreat.
Oh, this could be big if VP can get them top, but I don't know if they can. They've got the Slardar here, but the rest are a little bit behind him. And now OG are going to be able to get themselves the Roshan. Staying in the center, but he's now out of mana because of the defusal. So over the Stomp off, here's the cooldown. VP trying to look for the opening, look at the Amplifier out into Miracle. Illidan moving forward, but there's a snowball coming in. There's a defusal onto Illidan, he's caught out. Light Strike will buy him time, he turns around.
Oh, this is gonna work.
He's gonna live. Look at there's the grave. Moon's gonna survive. They've lost the Gyro VP, and Notel's moving forward for more. The Ice Blast side but it's gonna be juked out by OG. VP will lose a little as well, almost certainly, but no, he's gonna live. Finally, the Spirit Lance there from Notel will finish him off. They did lose crit on the Rubik OG, but they might find the kill on FNG. Moon goes in with the shards. Notel's there as well. There's your heal bomb from Fly. And OG do come out of a fight that VP may be just turning up a little bit too late to, as they tried to contest Roshan.
I think it's not terrible for VP. They killed the Aegis. They should have killed Moon. A little bit of a misplay from Lil, but he wasn't able to anticipate what Lina was going to hit. So Lina hit the Tusk. No AI Blast came, which meant that the Grave ended up being useful. But the important thing in that fight was that Slardar...
That's an ambitious CP. Oh, he's there with the crush straight away. Dazzle maybe being a little bit too cheeky with his TP position, and he will get chased down here by the fish in the ice cream cone. There's your crush. Miracle's coming through. There is a Grave on Fly, but the Ice Blast is there. They want this Dazzle dead, and they're going to get it, and VP will disperse a Fly.
So despite Gyro dying there, I think it was worth it. Slardar's up to 1,700 gold now, and Lina as well didn't die in that fight. So despite losing Illidan, that's their go for it.
They want to go for more as well, looking sprinting forward. Pops the Amplified down onto the SF. Is he going to dive for this? He certainly is. Closing in, looking for the crush. Pings are coming out. There's going to be a reaction from OG. VP diving very, very deep. There's a snowball here onto the Slardar. G's moving again to looking onto Miracle, but he gets off the Wreck Rim, and now he tries to turn the cooldown to end up finishing him off. Illidan moving forward with the flat cannon. The Rocket Barrage as well. He's going to find Moon here. 3 dead on the side of OG. VP moving forward for more. They want to turn the Light Strikes there. Double buyback. And now Crit is there. He might fall. There's a buyback from Moon, but Crit going down the Rocket Barrage. He falls. Triple kill for G. They do end up losing Phobos on the Slardar, but they force out a buyback, and their aggression punishing the side of OG behind their tier 2s.
That looked pretty crazy, but it ended up working out there for VP. Illidan is, man, his aggression has been really good this game. It's maybe not allowing him to get a ton of kills. He does have some of the highest deaths for a carry, but he's setting up his team to get the plays. He does over-aggressive things. OG is forced to use their spells on him, and then G just sits in the back and picks him off one by one, dealing out huge amounts of damage. Their strat is working, and OG's a little bit on the back foot here. I mean, there is a BKB on the way for Shadow Fiend. Once he gets that, he's going to be pretty happy.
There's an axe on Lina now.
Exactly. There's a little bit ahead of him.
He's going to get pretty low here. There's an Ice Blast on him. Crit, what's he got the steal on? He's just going to be able to barrage. This game, 22 minutes in a lot of action, and it's still very close between these two sides.
Yeah, it is. 200 gold away for DK Phobos to get his blink as well, so a slight power curve will be hitting now for VP. Got a Glimmer Cape on Ancient Apparition so they can protect Illidan a bit better. He is just dying to range magic damage pretty much. And if we take a look over at OG, nothing new for Tusk, just mech arcanes. He's had that for a bit. Miracle's again about to finish his BKB. Fly has no defensive items yet, and Crit also doesn't have his Force Staff. So they're missing some really important things that might make the big difference in them surviving. They do get a big D ward in the jungle though, and this means that OG's jungle is safe once again.
Now Phobos, he's got that Blink Dagger on the Slardar, so we could see the Goat Sign coming out fairly soon for VP. We've seen how much they've wanted to fight Illidan as well. His aggression on this Gyrocopter paying off time and time again. And just moving to regain control of their own jungle, and there's your smoke.
It might have been spotted just partially.
There's one on the logo. Yeah, we'll see.
There wasn't a hero. They might have said that, seen the edge of the smoke. They might go on mid though. OG's so spread. There's no towers close.
This would be a big jump if they can get Miracle here. They're moving on to the ground. Phobos blinking in. He's actually been Glimmer Caped as well, so he's going to be able to close the gap here onto Crit, and there's your crush. They'll look for the Rubik kill. They should be able to get it. He's got a telekinesis, but Dragon Slave, the right click from G. They'll find themselves the Rubik.
It's okay. Cost them a smoke. They get a support hero.
Radiant's top
They may just back off from this one, especially because the top tower is a bit pushed. Yeah, and they do. Gyro TP's back, and that wasn't a good enough kill for them to justify going for a tier 2 building.
Now looking at Moon as well, so on top of this Mech Arcanes, he is up against a Night Stalker with that silence. Do you need the Greaves first for your team here? Is the Night Stalker prioritizing you, or can you still just afford to go for the Blink on the Tusk first?
I think it's a great idea, honestly. And especially because they have a Dazzle. Something that you don't remember that often with Greaves is that if you get low HP, you get this big burst of armor and HP regen, which it synergizes perfectly with Dazzle if you're planning to live after. If you get Ice Blasted, it's not going to make a big difference, but at the very least, lowering the cooldowns can be good.
It's just smoke from OG. At the same time, they are smoking into a Lina that's got an Invis rune. If Lina comes back, gives a spell, but he's not around. Illidan's going to have a snowball going towards him, but it's a very ambitious one. It's not going to reach him. Illidan gets Glimmer caped up. Sentry has been dropped here, so they will spot the fact that G's moving in here. In fact, the double sentry there we go. They're going to throw the ice blast out. He lands on top of the Requiem. Miracle with the timing, using G-Shores against him. He looks for more. Triple kill for Miracle. There might even be an ultra. Fight Phobos. Ultra kill for the Shadow Fiend. 8,000 matchmaking rating. Lil the only one to get out. There was in fact a buyback from G there, but he's not going to be able to do anything. And that was huge for OG Purge.
That felt like a super big VP throw to me. I mean, they were like, oh, Moon Meander used his abilities, it didn't work out. Let's go walk into this and start the fight, but you can't run in your Lina first. He got entirely initiated on. Maybe he didn't anticipate there being that many heroes there. Maybe they were all still smoked perhaps, but man, that fight just got off on the wrong foot. It was their two most important heroes get initiated on. The BKB shows and completely counters Lina, and that huge positioning error by G just resulted in a giant kill set for OG.
Look at this mid lane. I mean, there's a bit of a collection of sentries there.
He was invised, I believe, which was why
I think that's what they were trying for it. Yeah. One of those.
But those sentries, man, I would trade 3 sentries for that team fight any day.
Any day. Wowie. 22-17 for the side of OG. No Tail still picking up the farm here on this PL. And it is this Miracle Shadow Fiend 4K Helena. We were saying at the start, this man has been having consistent performance after consistent performance on the hero, and it does not look like this game is going to be any exception.
Yep. Next item coming up, probably a Scotty, I feel. Might be a Butterfly as well, but Gyro is pretty big components of magic damage. One of those items, I think Scotty's probably better because Lina's going to be doing burst damage, and AA as well is just trying to get him to a low threshold, so more HP is always going to help. So I would say go standard build. It would allow him to basically out-kite his opponents and out-tank them as well.
Okay, so his blink done on Tusk now here, so he did opt for the blink rather than full out Greaves, but with the amount of aggression that OG are using, having that extra route of initiation is going to be pretty huge for them.
Especially after how that last fight started to initiate. If you have to snowball, it's like, okay, they just walk away from you. But if you have a blink, you can do it instantly. As soon as that gank happened, it was like, okay, it's very clear that OG needs a way to start fights in any way other than just walking into them. So blink was very clearly, after that fight, the right item here for Moon Meander.
Smoke from VP. They've got the chilling touch. They're going to be running straight into OG. If they go around this route, it looks like they're going to look to wrap around via the mid lane.
That's much safer.
They're thinking about it.
OG's positioning is perfect.
They're so ready for this.
I don't think they can run up this hill. There's no way.
Roshan's up in third. This is what it is. It's that timing.
Whoever wins this fight gets Rosh.
OG actually beginning to wrap around themselves here. VP just making the move towards the mid.
They just don't know where OG is.
Yeah, OG, they're avoiding and playing this very, very smartly.
Looks like they have a gem. They killed all the sentries. Yeah, it's a gem on Lil, on the Ancient Apparition, so they're just going to shift the pressure to the top tier 2 instead. This may allow OG to go for Rosh, but it depends on how fast it respawns.
And Rosh should be up any second, I believe. That's 30 seconds, about 20 seconds ago. So yeah, literally right now. Yeah. There we go. So Rosh is up. Let's see if OG look for the Rosh or they look for the fight first. VP, they are certainly looking for a fight.
Oh, they don't have a Helm of the Dominator creep. He grabbed this Alpha Wolf, which means he doesn't have the Centaur on the bottom half of the map. OG could have potentially taken Rosh right there.
I mean, look how careful OG playing. Nighttime has been called out by FNG. Oh, Miracle, he's so ready for this with this Invis Rune. We saw him with the Invis Rune in the games yesterday. Is it going to be as impactful again this one? He's still got it.
Oh,
he knows there's a gem though on Lil. He's going to move forward. They found G. Can they quite get a jump? No. VP actually moving into the pit.
There could be an initiation at any moment.
So tense between these two sides. OG just
they have to spot that ward. They do spot the ward. So they know that OG has perfect positioning. They can't fight with that being there. It would give them way too much advantage. It would basically nullify everything that a Night Stalker does for VP. But it's going to be so difficult to kill those. I mean, they're limited on range heroes. It's Lina, it's Ancient Apparition. Lina would kind of work, but she doesn't have a Blink Dagger yet, so it's just way too dangerous to kill that Observer Ward. It's starting to be one of the best spots for Roshin, because it's hard to check it. You have to have a ward on the high ground yourself. You have to have a range hero to kill it.
Radiant's top tower is under siege.
Alongside VP, they're going to give up on the Roche for the time being. Just look to try and take the tier 1, gain a little bit more control of this area around Roshan. OG moving forward, they do now have a Manta on No-Tail, so he's going to feel a lot safer going ahead first into these fights. Just throws out the last there onto Lil. Doppelgang has forward a little bit aggressively. The shards come out, catching 2. Light Strike's now already been used. They drive, but they have the cooldown as well, and it's going to hit up to 3. Illidan moving forward, has got the damage, but the mech's being popped. There's a Lagunosh miracle, but he still moves forward with the BKB. He's looking for kills, and he's going to get them. He gets Lil here as well. Snowball at FNG. He falls as well. There's only 2 left on the side of VP, and OG are not going to stop. They're moving forward. Crit forcing in, trying to catch out Illidan. Moves there with the shots. It's a little bit off point here. Illidan juking around the tree line. There's no tier 1 here. He's going to go for the TP out Illidan, and he should be able to make it. He will. But OG there finding 3 kills, and VP just unable to find anything in return.
VP doesn't have the same ability to poke and prod like OG does. Just a simple Spirit Lance, let them know where VP was, and then they throw a couple more spells, and all of a sudden the Ice Shards catch 2 heroes, and then they can just approach. Despite the great initiation there from DK Phobos, OG just simply presses BKBs, survives the initial burst with their high HP, and then they just take their picks, get a couple of heroes. It's very difficult for VP here to win a fight unless they initiate first and they get the follow-up in the first couple seconds.
Okay, they want to fight in the VP potentially. They're throwing an Ice Blast and a cooldown, but OG will dodge it and pop down the Weave and No-Tail. Just positioning himself in a bit of a stance. They're ready to jump if VP came down from the cliff.
I don't know if they can do this. They're going to grab the Aegis.
And there we go. Aegis now picked up by Miracle. OG, they played the long game. We saw them hovering around the pit for a good 3 or so minutes, and it really paid off. They find themselves a good team fight down bottom, and they get themselves a clean Roshan.
And they lost the gem as well. This is VP definitely on the back foot here. OG is taking control of this game entirely. How many Aegises have they gotten now? I believe 2. 2 Aegises on a Shadow Fiend to hear that they're already going to have trouble killing. He's just simply getting tanky at this point.
He's completed Skadi, it is, isn't it?
He's got to be close.
Oh, yeah. No, he just needs the point boost, I believe.
Yep.
So 400 gold away from the Skadi as well.
Then he goes up another 500 HP or so. It's pretty good.
I mean, we look at the Jara. Illidan, has he kind of got the damage items? He hasn't yet. On top of the SMY and the helm, 1100 gold. So they're really going to have trouble breaking down the Shadow Fiend. And as you're saying, doing it twice is almost an impossible task for VP at this point, unless they commit everything to the man.
They're very cooldown focused, especially because Gyro doesn't have BKB. That's really the item they're missing the most. He's not able to frontline tank and to threaten there, because if they just initiate on him, he also dies. They're looking to catch him though. Stun wasted.
OG. And Phobos' beast body will be linked away straight out. Shards thrown across it, seeing if they can trap anyone to the tree line, but VP move across it. Lil TP's out straight away. FNG could be in a bit more trouble. Trying to run this one out.
Oh, they can't see him.
He's just outside the vision. The Shards will catch him. It will. Moves on point. Gets the vision there for the snowball. Jumps straight in onto the Night Stalker, and OG's there with the backup. Everything getting thrown down onto the man, and they do catch him out, even though it's nighttime and even with that limited vision.
Yeah, that was the only thing keeping him alive, was them not knowing exactly where he was, skirting on the edge, but the great Ice Shards from Moon Meander gives the vision to score the kill. So split pushing now is a little bit of the game here for VP. G's going to help work on the tier 2 tower, and I like that Slaughter's behind this. Unfortunately, they actually don't know he's there because the Night Stalker ultimate is on.
Now Snowball into G. He'll juke out the stun there with the heals, but there's so many people here. Miracle with the Requiem. They're trapped in by the Shards VP, and they just absolutely disappear.
That's not a trade you want to make. They got a hero, but they lost Lina.
28 to 18. OG really stepping ahead of the game compared to VP. And look at the graph now. It was up and down towards the mid game, but more and more OG getting more control of this one. And now with a very sizable lead against the side of VP, and you look at their lineup, Purge, have they got what it takes to turn around these fights? What are they waiting on? What do they need?
VP needs to start finding heroes when they're solo, basically. What they just tried to do, a little bit of split push with one hero, and then turn it around and get it to a gank. But maybe the mistake was showing Lina in the lane rather than just Slardar. If they show just Slardar, all of OG might not go. If only one hero goes against the Slardar probably won't go.
No-Tail blinking in straight onto FNG. He's going to look for the TP FNG, but it's not going to work. No-Tail there, getting himself the solo kill at the same time. The rest of his boys taking down a tier 2.
But they need to get kills, basically. And OG is correctly putting enough heroes on each gank. Enough where they guarantee the double kill rather than just losing one. Miracle,
crit. away.
Crush, great steal from Rubik here.
He's just got absolutely no fear at the moment. Just on the high ground, pummeling away at this tier 3. Cleaning out the wave, and at the same time, OG, they've managed to push in the middle lane of creeps as well. BKBs have been picked up by both of the cores, Illidan and G on the side of VP. They'll be in a little bit of a better shape to fight, but there's a lot of physical damage at the moment coming out from Miracle. And he's got 4.4k on top of this Skadi now. This man is an absolute monster.
It's going to take a little bit of an ice blast.
Hotel, blinking in. Doppelganger's out. Scott sees their mana. Phobos has to sprint away. Miracle back onto the racks. Try and waltz off the cold feet. The 4-star's there from Crit, so he'll be able to.
And back high ground now. VP's got to go soon.
They've got to make a jump, but it's just so hard for them because they know that OG's going to be there to turn around a no-tail. He makes the jump for them. Straight out to FFG, jukes out the light strike there with the doppelganger. Nightstock already being forced back. And Miracle moving forward. Oh, there's Moon with the snowball straight onto Lil. Lil will go down. No-tail getting the kill there with the illusions. And the rest of VP just being forced back to the base. Again, No-tail just juking out the stuns time and time again from G. And now Crit going back in with the lift. Bit of a T-Tools going on here, but G, he's the one having the damage gone down from Miracle. The BKB is not going to save it. The ult again. Miracle rides it up. There's a Requiem. He does get out the Laguna, but they've lost G. Illidan's trying to do what he can, but there's a Shallow Grave onto Moon. Miracle just moving forward with the right clicks, forcing this gyro back to base. There'll be a crush from Phobos. He wants to find Moon. Will he be able to get it down?
He doesn't get him.
He just can't kill Moon, and that's the GG. Moon just playing with the side of VP, and OG take game 1 33-18. It was pretty close up to the 22-minute mark, but then OG, they just came into absolute action, and VP did not know what was hitting them.
OG just looked like the better team there, but with that said, I feel like VP didn't play up to their absolute best. I think they played better yesterday. I think they can turn this around, maybe take it to 3 games, but after game 1, again, Miracle Shadow Fiend, it's really good.
You've got to take it away from it, or you've got to do something about it.